It was gifted to us by a brother from the Stockbridge Reservation in Wisconsin. And the song is thanking the Great Spirit for making me Lunape, making me an original human.
I was just honored that you walked the Mohawk way.
Yeah, it's the honor
Turning
song.
back time, huh?
The honor song, and we're trying to bring a background. Yeah. You did it now. Way oh hey, oh hey, oh hey, way oh hey, oh way oh hey, way oh, way oh hey, oh way oh hey, ah hey oh way, way oh hey. Yo way oh hey, yo way oh hey, ah hey oh way, honey chic manito, whoa, nilu napa walk away oh hey, ah hey oh way. Way oh hey, yo way oh hey, yo way oh hey, ah hey oh way, way oh hey, yo way oh hey, way oh hey, yo way oh hey, way oh. Well, hey, oh, well, oh, hey, ah, hey, oh, hey, well, hey, oh, well, hey, oh, well, hey, ah, hey, oh, hey, honey, shake, money, whoa, Nilo Napa, walk away, oh, hey, ya, hey, oh, hey, way, oh, hey, yo, way, oh, hey, yo, way, oh, hey, ah, hey, oh, hey, way, oh, hey, oh, hey, way, oh, way, oh, hey, way, oh, hey, ah, hey, oh, way, way, oh, hey, yo, way, oh, hey, yo, way, oh, hey, ah, hey, oh, way, honey, shake, money, Nilo Napa, walk away, oh, hey, ah, hey, oh, way, way, oh, hey, yo, way, oh, hey, yo, way, oh, hey, ah, hey, oh, way. Thank you for sharing that.
From your voice and from your eyes, I hear sincerity. We Quakers believe that God is in the spirit of everyone inside. And you, your people, believe that the Great Spirit is throughout the landscape, in the trees, in nature, in the animals. This is true. Are they not all God's creation? I am so happy. I am honored that you have come from your time, here in the present, to remind people of the importance of Mother Earth. When your people at the time of the Salem Oak, the original Salem Oak, were in Lenapehoking, the various clans of the Lenape knew much space between settlements. Then when settlers came here, they tilled the land in a different way. As time passed, towns sprung up. Government was created. First it was government from Holland, and in the south, government from Sweden. Then it was British government. But Mother Earth had not changed. The people, they kept coming. Mother Earth remained the same. And then, 100 years after I created Salem, out of what was known at that time as West Jersey, half of New Jersey, divided by noblemen from England, determined by the king. The western half included in the land between the two rivers, then the north and the south, to be known as the Hudson and the Delaware. This peninsula, subdivided, West Jersey included all of the Delaware. It was the most important part. It was the part that I became attached to in 1675. Chief, I speak too soon before I address you, because in the tradition, when one leader meets another, gifts are appropriate as a sign of brotherhood, and I could not be speaking further with you or before this group if I did not have something for you. I would like to name today Ancestor Day. We are here to plant a tree, but we are here to honor ancestors, both yours, the people that came before us, these ancestors, and your people. This is the Salem oak that when I arrived in the 1670s was already grown to good height, not as tall as we remember it in the 20th century or the 21st century, but already a meeting place known to the Lenape people in the clan adjacent to Salem. This became a beloved tree, perhaps because it ended up being in a cemetery for the Friends. It was protected. For many of the great oaks of South Jersey became the rafters of houses and the keels of ships and the plows, the portion that would till the soil, the wagons that would cover the territory for settlers. This tree is an ancestor tree. This tree represents the Lenape before and those that came after. Only 2 years ago, this tree mysteriously fell. It was not a windy day. It was a lesson of nature. Suddenly, the time for this tree was over. And Joseph Bennett had the unseen premonition to collect acorns from this tree the year before. Joseph Bennett did not know this tree was leaving, but Joseph Bennett wanted to tell the story of this tree. I don't know, and our chief cannot say, but the local clan may have had a special name for this tree, but most likely they considered it, as all things, a part of the Great Spirit. When I saw this tree, and when I saw this possibility of a town where there could be religious freedom, freedom from the oppression that Quakers were experiencing in England, I said, for many of you may not know, but before I became a Quaker, I was a soldier. I was a major in Oliver Cromwell's army. I was witness to regicide when Charles I was beheaded, when Parliament no longer was being heard by the king, and they rebelled against the king. I was a witness to that. My cavalry troop, of which I was the leader, was providing safeguard for the scaffold. War is a terrible thing. And I hoped that it would never come to the New World. I named my town, and this tree was also named Salem, a word meaning peace. For I realized as a friend that man must avoid war. Man must be peaceful. Man, among all men, should think of brotherhood, not as an exception, but as a rule. Chief, I give you this tree. The only thing I can give to you is a semblance of the tree that stood for almost 600 years. This tree was standing when Verrazano looked upon the coast of what is now New Jersey and wrote notes. Verrazano was Italian, but he wrote notes of the landscape, giving them place names in French. He was working for the French. The Dutch may have seen this tree, but never made notes about it. But they did explore up the Delaware. But it was the Swedes that knew this tree. For the Swedes settled in the territory surrounding this tree and called it New Sweden. Peter Stuyvesant didn't like that very much. And some years later, he decided that he was tired of the Swedes trading with the native Indians. He wanted to do all of the trade and recreated after an invasion in South Jersey, New Sweden as a semi-autonomous part of New Netherlands. But I'm not here to tell stories of just history. I'm here to talk about ancestors. Your ancestors, my ancestors, all of your ancestors, and these ancestors. The person who drew this drawing actually was and has as her ancestors the first boatloads of Swedes that arrived in 1638 in the lower Delaware. This tree has many stories to tell, and she now is up in years herself, and I am delighted to present it to you, Jane. Thank you. Now, don't go away. For you know, when you look at that tree, one should say, peace be with you, as with the tree. But I need Dan. Dan, please, you have a card in your hand. I want you to pass it out to everyone as quickly as possible. I'll take one. Now all of you have a program, and you look on that program and you can see what the tree looked like in the year that Joe picked those acorns. And on the left, you notice this is the symbol of the Quakers who organized an entity called the West Jersey Proprietorship. They were given the rights to West Jersey to resell land for settlement. And the symbol that they used on all of their documents, by the way, the West Jersey Proprietorship still exists today. The East Jersey Proprietorship legally gave up all their rights and responsibilities to the state of New Jersey. But at least once a year, the West Jersey Proprietorship meets to settle disputes, not so much disputes, but answer questions about little pieces in remote places of the original West Jersey territory about who has title. And so they still exist. And when you look at this picture, you will notice that it's calipers, of course, which is all part of map making and surveying. And there is a balance which represents equity. Equity for value. How much will the land cost? Will it be in balance with the appropriate price at the time? But I say to you, that meaning is no longer relevant. Because in the middle, you see a tree. And I say that when you look at this image, it should mean for us, when you think of what the chief had to say to us today, that nature is the center of the image. A tree symbolizing nature. And the balance should be our right, privilege, and responsibility to keep nature in balance with what is possible for mankind's enjoyment and profitable care. It seems strange to me from 300 years ago that here in the 21st century, people with the advent of the Department of Environmental Protection, only 50 years old, that only now you, those who have followed the people I know, are just arriving at the conclusion of what the native people have been saying all along about our relationship with the land. So take this with you and keep in mind the saying at the bottom. A great lover of the land and of nature, William Penn, a contemporary of mine, he said, "How joyful if we study nature more in natural things acting according to nature, whose rules are few, but most reasonable. And so, keep that with you as a reminder of today and of the future and of your responsibility. Chief, here is your copy of it. And I have one other thing to add to our ceremony after we put the tree in the ground. Chief, won't you join me? Chief, shall we set it in the ground together? This tree, while you think it's for you, this tree is for the next generation.
You look at the trees in the ground.
Great Spirit, we come here today and honoring all of our ancestors. We ask that the winds be light. We ask that the Sokolon, the rain, be gentle. And it's our hope and our prayers that we put into this sacred hollow ground, that this tree one day will be recognized by our collective ancestors or descendants. The reason why I choose to speak in my language here today is so that our ancestors understand that we're thinking of them. The vibrations that I use now and these words are not recognizable to our ancestors. Specifically those who rested under this tree or held counsel under the parent of this tree, grandma. And so we're hopeful that that this relative of mine, the Longo Mati, Matuk, tree, will have that same benefit. That it'll grow up, that it'll remember every experience like a mirror that came from your country. Trees, Matuks, when they get very ancient and you go and you rest your hands upon their skin, and you close your eyes and clear your mind of any other thought. If you're pure in your heart and your end day, you'll bear witness to everything that Matuk has seen in its lifetime, good, bad, or indifferent. But you have to have a pure heart. You have to maintain and control how you navigate your life and maintain that sense of humility. Remembering, our original instructions, the ones that are not written for us, but are written in your book. Our original instructions, when we apply them to our lives, as our ancestors did, we understand that we need to be in balance with everything, that we need to respect one another, that we need to respect our relatives, that we need to carry honor, remember our humility, learn through repetition, creating wisdom that we then will share, just as this young one here will. So again, I am beyond grateful and appreciative of everybody who's here, the struggles and the journeys of your ancestors as well as ours, so that we both can be here today to bear witness to planting of
To the continuum.
this will go on forever. Once a year, Michaeline and I and many other indigenous relatives of ours travel to New York State, to Ulster County, to renew the Nichols Treaty that was supposed to be renewed every single year. That treaty of peace, where we'd be able to live amongst each other. And whether it is a treaty belt or it is a matuk, we should think of it in that way. We should think of the fact that, the grandma that this tree comes from, all the things that she has witnessed in her life, that she experienced, what it was like here before contact, what it was like during contact, and what it was like after. It's our hope that this tree that we planted here today together will not be troubled by those things of the past. Anishi, thank you.
If we have learned our lesson, then such will be so. Dan, I need you again.
Right here.
For the final phase of our ceremony today, please hand these out. Earlier I quoted William Penn, a contemporary of mine, and his feelings about nature. And he had strong feelings about brotherhood with the native population. Now, since your generation is here witnessing this tree, and by the way, where is our water bearer? Yes. We have the latest generation to provide water, the first water for the tree. Please do so while I'm talking.
This is the last one. I kind of did the rest.
You need not open it now, but I'll tell you what's inside. There are 2 acorns inside, and these are not acorns from the Salem tree. These are acorns from the other side of the Delaware. These are acorns from Penn's Woods. Felt it appropriate that he be here in spirit as well. And this is what I want you to do with these acorns. Oh, sure. You could discard them, which I hope you will not do. If you are willing, I will assign you what to do with them. First and foremost, you will plant one wherever you choose. You know, there's no guarantee it will sprout, but give nature a chance. And the second one, which of course you could plant, but I have a better task for it. Put it in your pocket. Leave it on your desk. Keep it in the kitchen. Let it be a reminder of not only what we said today, but what you want to do to be proactive. What you can do to help others be convinced that our environment is in peril and that the future growth of additional acorns from other trees will be assured, and that mankind's survival in the future is assured. This is a big task. So leave this second acorn out to remind you. It could be something simple like volunteering for the Boy Scout merit badge for tree merit badge, or you might be in a conservation organization, or you might go out and plant multiple trees. You know, there are programs in the state of New Jersey that plant trees in cities, but there are only 65 out of 540 cities or townships in New Jersey with a population of 9 million that have a Tree City logo when you enter the town. Only 65. But your local town may have a shade tree commission. Your local town may be talking about planting trees, but make sure they do. Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Long after my time. The Heart of a Tree by Henry Bunner, who ironically was from the New Jersey town of Nutley. What does he plant who plants a tree? He plants a friend of sun and sky. He plants the flag of breezes free, the shaft of beauty towering high. He plants a home to heaven a-high. For song and mother croon of bird, in hushed and happy twilight heard, these things he plants who plants a tree. What does he plant who plants a tree? He plants cool shade and tender rain. Today we got just a little bit of both. And seed and bud of days to be. And years that fade and flush again. He plants the glory of the plain. He plants the forest's heritage, the harvest of a coming age, the joy that unborn eyes shall see. These things he plants who plants a tree. What does he plant who plants a tree? He plants in sap and leaf and wood, in love of home and loyalty, and far-cast thought of civic good, his blessings of the neighborhood, who in the hollow of his hand holds all the growth of all our land. A nation's growth from sea to sea stirs in his heart who plants a tree. Thank you. May you be inspired to plant your acorn.